Hey guys, welcome to the Five Count. John disappeared. I don't know exactly how, but he's here and we're back.
I'm
Um,
here. I don't know what happened there.
on a Wednesday night, we're here with the Five Count. We're just gonna do it like we always do it. I'm Big George. This is John. As you can see, this is kind of a swap in a sense because he normally does the introduction, but apparently he just left me to do it. So you know what?
Yeah,
Hey, I had to take over when I had to
it's
take over, baby.
it's
So
your turn.
hey, I can dig it. But hey, coming in hot, we got some good free agent signings in the NFL. We got some NBA action that's kind of a hot topic, but really shouldn't be, but should be. And John left again. And he's gonna talk, MLB as well as some, UFC fights they have coming up here soon. So of
It's
course,
doesn't
we
like
gotta
it doesn't
put this.
like me tonight. It doesn't
Yeah,
like me tonight.
nope, nope. But look, I'm going. Like I said, we got a full slate. He's gonna talk MLB and UFC. I'm gonna talk NFL and NBA, and we're gonna hit you hard with it. So, of course, as many times as John leaves, he'll come back. But of course,
I'm
hopefully,
always coming.
he doesn't come back at a time that's not really, really accurate. But at the same time, we just hope this works out for the best of us tonight. But starting out, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to somebody who deserves a shout out in the way that people deserve to have a shout out done. Bam Adebayo, you scored 83 points last night. I don't care how you did it. It was all legitimate points. And I have to say that was an incredible thing to watch and see. Yeah, a lot of people keep saying for some reason, oh, he's not better than Kobe. He's not this. He's not that. There has to be some kind of line drawn in the sand because, of course, 83 points is still 83 points. I don't give a damn if you scored it against a bunch of high schoolers. You still talk about it. So 83 points in the NBA is a
What
good
what's
thing.
the George? Also, too, you'll have to share us on X there if you can make that happen. But what's the issue? Like I saw people saying, "Well, he ain't Kobe, he ain't." No, who cares? That 83 points. That's ridiculous
The crazy
against
thing is
pro basketball players.
they're like, oh, he broke Kobe's record. Funny thing, Kobe didn't have the record. Wilt Chamberlain has the record, people.
Yeah,
It's 100
Kobe.
points.
Kobe had the silver medal. Let's be
Exactly.
honest.
And Bam took the silver medal spot. And I'm not saying that the silver medal spot in this particular sense is a bad thing to have, especially after this record lasted as long as it did, and it still is actually going. And to be second at this particular point, as far as coming close to having 100 points, that's an amazing feat. What's funny to
Yeah.
me is like I looked up something, and people were like, oh, Bam got all these points and they did all this, da 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 da. I think the Heat won by 20 to 30 points. In today's NBA, that's not a lot of points because you can have a 20 to 30 point spread in a heartbeat and the game is over from like the second, third quarter. But I went back and looked at Kobe's 81 point game. They won that game by 20 points. And at that time, you wasn't coming back from a 20-point lead. So did he need 81 points to beat the Raptors? No. But to play basketball and to be able to make 81 points and run the score up that much and actually be able to do so is one thing. Like at a certain point, Bam was getting fouled and just taking shots. And they just kept freaking doing it. Like if you keep fouling me and I keep going to the free throw line, you can say whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, you got to do better, at playing defense. So kudos to Bam. I want to go ahead and, like I say, shout him out because, of course, like I say, everybody's going to take away from his shine because of everybody else who's done it in history or haven't done it. Like, I've yet to see, Kevin Durant's 75-point game. I've yet to see Anthony Edwards go for 68, 69 points. It's not saying that it won't happen, but it's just Bam's time right now. Let Bam have his moment. That's all it is for me.
Yeah, good. I mean, good for him, man. That's an incredible feat. An absolutely incredible feat. It sucks that Kobe did it against the Raptors, but still got to be part of that history. But
it is what it is. I mean, hey, you just was there that day. That's look, the Wizards got the worst of it now. you got to look at the Wizards and like I'm thinking to myself, who is on that team to where they allowed one player to get 83 points? I looked at the box score and I'm just like, did he do anything else? He had like 3 assists. I mean, would you pass it if I'm hot? No.
Absolutely not.
Get it off the rim, big fella. Kobe once said that. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, like I say, let Bam have his shine. He scored 83 points in the game. At the end of the day, you're not going to compare his career to nobody else's for one single game record. In one single game, anything can happen. Scott Skiles has 30 assists. You know, Wilt Chamberlain has 55 rebounds in a game. It's just, you don't know what's going to happen one day. At the end of the day, you just got to go out there and play your game. And if you have a really good game, play on, baby.
Yeah. Good.
Now, will I take the under on Bam the next game? Absolutely. I'm not. Look, them arms is tired, baby. 83 points. I don't give a damn how you got them. Your arms is tired. Nah. But, shout out to that man for actually, like I say, putting up a good game and actually putting up a historic performance. Who knows who's the next person to do something like that? It may take another 10, 20 years for it to actually be done. So,
well, yeah, it doesn't happen often. George, that was huge news, obviously. Big news is NFL free agency is in full throw. We have the biggest news it wasn't free agency. It was a trade that was supposed to send Max Crosby to the Raiders. Max Crosby to the Ravens from the Raiders for 2 first-round picks. The Ravens did what a few fellas should have and pulled out of the deal. But I tell you what, it's unbelievable, like just crazy. And the Raiders spent all this money thinking that they didn't have Max Crosby's money on the books, and apparently they can afford it now. And I mean, listen, you're not going to see me have any sympathy for the Raiders. So that's all that, whatever they want to do is fine. But I do like Max Crosby as a player. I think he's a stud. But that was insane. Like, what the heck? I think Baltimore just decided. They said it's the medical issue. That's what the claim was, anyways.
You could say it's a medical issue. I think you have to say something to go ahead and make it all make sense. But at the end of the day, I do also feel like it's one of those situations where you understood that the price was way too high to commit to. Like 2 first-round picks in the next 2 years, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to be there. You don't know what this situation is going to be like. So being doing it before the actual deal can get done, I'm not going to lie, on Baltimore's part, is smart. Because at the end of the day, not saying that you had to do this and not saying that there wasn't available people, but now they went out and got Trey Hendrickson, and they still have their 2 first-round picks. So they got better on defense, but they spent some money to do it. I don't know if they were going to actually have to, do anything with a contract with Max Crosby. I doubt it. But at the same time, that money is gone now. So these first-round picks in these next few years are going to actually mean something to the Ravens. The Raiders, they almost pulled off one of the greatest heists in the world in the sense of, I'm going to want to go ahead and sign a boatload of players that are actually talented, be able to fill out the rest of the pieces through the draft, and then, of course, just kind of keep building with other people's first-round picks. Kind of like a Oklahoma City Thunder thing when they was like, we're just going to trade away everybody for picks, and we're just going to rebuild the draft with people that y'all don't want. Oh, y'all don't want Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? We'll take him. We'll just be modest and take him in a couple first-round picks. The stupidest thing that you could do. But the Raiders didn't get to pull it off. So I just feel like, the trade didn't happen for an obvious reason, but also one of those moves where I feel like the Raiders could have been a really, really hard team to deal with in the future if this trade would have went through.
I mean, they still got a lot of assets, so I mean, we'll see, and they're going to get Mendoza. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out with them. But what a trade! What a wild trade. That didn't go through. Obviously, today the Trent McDuffie trade was official. So that was a huge. DJ Moore got traded to Buffalo, so they got a new receivers for their for Josh Allen. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know.
They signed Bradley Chubb today, didn't they?
They did sign Bradley Chubb to a lot of money.
That man gets paid a lot, very, very often. And I don't think that people really know exactly what happens with him. Like, he's a really, I don't know, kind of character.
Yeah. I like Rashawn Gary to the Cowboys from the Packers. That was a good pickup. They traded and made a deal for him, got him. Pretty much got the Packers' old D-line. I mean, I like that play for Dallas. What's that?
Yeah, sent off Michael Parsons. Just basically sent off Michael Parsons to get the Packers D-line. And that's kind of what they did. Because they have Kenny Clark. They have Rashawn Gary. It's not, impossible to see them get somebody else. That'd be hilarious if they went out and got somebody else that was on that team. But I do think that we're in a situation where it's like you don't have to really gamble with what you have right now. Everything is open. Everything's like wide open right now. So I'm ready to see
I mean, it's been crazy though, the ton of money that's been thrown around. I mean, a couple teams, I think, George, that need to be talked about for what things they did is first of all, the Tennessee Titans are spending money like they need to launder it or something like that. I mean, Jesus.
Off, boy. They are spending them. I think every team that had cap money has spent a little bit of everything.
Listen to the guys they signed, though. This is so the Titans obviously have Cam Ward, new coach in Robert Saleh. So and then Brian Daboll's their offensive coordinator. So they got some guys with experience, but Wan'Dale Robinson, 4 years, $70 million, $38 million guaranteed. John Franklin Myers, that's actually a really nice pickup for them. Yeah. 3 years, $63 million, $42 million guaranteed. Alontae Taylor, 3 years, $60 million, corner, $42 million. Another corner, Cordell Flott, which is a great name. 3 years, $45 million, $32 million guaranteed. Daniel Bellinger, they signed. Jordan Elliott, Tommy Townsend. They signed a guard. They signed Josh Williams at corner. Mitch Trubisky, I guess, to be their backup quarterback. Malik Herring, another Chief. They traded for Solomon Thomas. I mean, the Titans, and the cool thing is, I think the Titans are going back. They're going to do the old Oilers style logo. Like they're going to have the T, and they're going to have like the Oilers. It's going to be like the old Oilers unis. I'm like, that's beautiful. The Oilers unis, they have beautiful jerseys. So I'm, good for Tennessee. I mean, for them, it all comes down to how Cam Ward turns out. He's a talented player, so they're trying to obviously build around him. But a lot of good moves by them.
There's a lot of teams out there that made some moves that were, I think, the team that made the best moves, and this is probably stealing from the top 5 from later, or just a hint to it.
Yeah.
The Browns. They are going to protect Shedeur Sanders like nobody's business. They went out and traded for Titus Howard.
They had to. They had no other offensive linemen. They had no offensive linemen left.
Johnson, Elton Jenkins from the Packers. They went out and signed him as a free agent. So they're not signing just like anybody's. They're signing quality offensive linemen, which is actually super smart for what they've had an issue with. And
they got Quincy Williams too.
Yeah, Quincy Williams is a linebacker for them.
Yeah.
So, of course, you got some things out there that's really, shifting around. Now, another team that made some decent splashes, but not necessarily anything that I feel like will change the regime over there. Rico Dowdle going to the Steelers.
I like that move.
Pittman going to the Steelers and Jamel Dean going to the Steelers is extremely important for them. I feel like that is something that kind of gives them a little bit of something that they were missing last year.
And they got Darnell Savage too. Darnell Savage as well.
Darnell Savage is not a bad pickup. I think Darnell Savage on a 1-year deal is not a bad pickup at all. Now, of course, what does he have for you this year? We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it all kind of works out. I'm ready for everybody to kind of go ahead and come back down to earth. Like I said, there's a lot of free agent signings that are just kind of off the wall. Now, I will say this. As far as the money that's been going out to players, some of the names don't necessarily match the dollar amounts in some people's perspectives. I'm not going to say that people don't deserve money because I don't run routes. I don't block nobody. I don't shed nobody. I ain't taking nothing. Nope, not a no. But the biggest contract that I seen go out this past week or so that was extremely interesting to see what kind of moves they're going to make with this man. 9 times out of 10, when you take the opportunity to go ahead and give a player some money, it's either for what they've done or what they're going to do. And I think they paid this man for what he has going to do because Michael Pittman being gone out of Indianapolis and then Alec Pierce getting signed to 4 years, $114 million. Not saying he doesn't deserve it, because he had some big plays last year that kind of led to a lot of things that kind of, opened up Daniel Jones's pockets a little bit too. So it's a good look, but
he's averaged the last 2 years. He had in 2025, he had 47 catches for 1,000 yards. Mm-hmm. 37 catches last year for 824 yards. So that guy, he got a lot of cash. He got
a lot of money, and I think that it's well-deserved money.
You're good for him.
It's going to be a lot of things that kind of come from that. Now, I know there's another team that's loading up that nobody's really everybody sees it happening, but nobody really understands what's happening. I don't understand what's happening because the Washington Commanders have signed everything that has a name on it. If you was ever anybody, listen to this. We're going to start with this is the God honest list. Marcus Mariota. It sounds almost like a super team. And from some point in time that you just pick these players. You got Marcus Mariota, Treylon Burks. They have Chigga Conwu. They have Laramie Tunsil, Nick Allegretti, Andrew Wiley, Caleb Von Chason, Charles Omenihu, Adafe Owe, Tim Settle. Amik Robinson, Leo Chanel, Nick Cross, Tress Way as the punter. I'm just thinking to myself, as this kind of comes to what's going to be there for the next few years, they're going to actually do a lot in these drafts, and they're going to have to go ahead and be able to fill these spots out because some of these players are taking up a lot of cap space.
Yeah, but listen, they really added on their defensive line.
Absolutely.
Leo Chenal, Dan Quinn's going to use him right. Mm-hmm. They really improved their defense, I think. Signed a lot of former they had already had Allegretti and Wiley. Omenihu's going to help them too. Yeah, absolutely. I think that they they really did some good things. They have to too, because that division, and I'm going to give this is one we talked about, George. I think that needs, and a shout out to my boy Patch, who's out there, a big Jets fan. The Jets did some things.
Yes.
Joseph Asai got signed to Mario Davis, Dylan Parham. They signed Nahshon Wright. Minkah Fitzpatrick they traded for. They got Geno Smith. I don't know what their plan is for the future at quarterback, but they did some good things. And the New York Giants, too. The Giants did some nice. The Giants got Isaiah Likely, Tremaine Edmonds. Mm-hmm. Greg Newsome, Patrick Ricard, pretty much anyone who played for the Baltimore Ravens the last
Ravens last 3 years,
5 years. Yeah. So like
So, I mean,
those guys.
the 2.0 Ravens are gonna definitely do a lot of things because that John Harbaugh signing, and of course, like I say, with his system and knowing exactly who he has. If you think about it, Patrick Ricard and Cam Scatterboo would be scary as hell coming off a guard's ass. I'm not gonna lie. That's a battering ram. If Cam Scatterboo comes back and is just as strong as he was when he left, because he's young. I mean, I was 20 once. I broke things and I healed right back up. Now I'm 30 and I can't do that.
Yeah. Listen, I would not be surprised if they go after Jeremiah Love in the draft. Like that would be because if you, yeah, I mean because listen, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo is great. He's really good, but Jeremiah Love with Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors and Isaiah Likely, that doesn't sound terrible.
It does sound terrible because Malik Neighbors.
What are you talking about?
Malik Neighbors is coming off an ACL injury, and
so is everyone.
No other receiver.
So is everyone.
There's no other receiver out there.
They can find a receiver. Yeah, but they can find another one. I mean, I think that I think that's somebody mentioned that today about the Giants, and I agree. I mean, if they went for Love, I think it would work there. I mean, like Scadaboo's but you need more than one back. And I mean, if you get out those back to back, those two guys in the backfield, because Love can catch the ball. Yeah, but again, I'm just saying, if it happens, I tell you what, Romeo Doubs went to
the Patriots.
The Patriots, a nice deal. I've always loved Romeo Doubs. I think he's a dog. I think he's a guy who can really play. He's just had, unfortunately, some injuries. And I guess this one, I don't know if it's new or I don't know if it's but Javon Hargrave went to the Green Bay Packers.
That's new.
I know he
interesting. Got released today.
Yeah,
the Vikings.
Yeah,
I didn't know he got picked.
He went to the Packers, and they got Benjamin St. Juste, Canadian, the Canadian corner, Sky Moore. They traded for Zaire Franklin. I mean, the Packers are a good team. The Packers are definitely a good team. I think they got a lot of promise going forward. But like the money, George, there's a ton of money, and we'll get later to our top five. But NFL free agency is in full swing, baby.
There were some deals that I just was questioning too. Like the Tua Tagovailoa to Atlanta.
Yeah,
I have questions.
1 year though. Here's why I'll defend it.
Okay.
I will defend it. It was, I think, that it hasn't gone. I don't know if so. It's 1 year, $1.3 million. So it's not a huge risk. He might get a chance to start, depending. But you got he and Penix. It's interesting, both left-handers. Maybe that was by design so that the offensive line could get used to it. I don't know. You'd know better if that has a thing. But
it's not.
But I wouldn't think it mattered. But two left-handers. He's a young guy still. I think for the amount of money they paid, I mean, why not? Like, take a flyer. You're not out a draft pick. You're not out a huge amount of money. I don't mind it. They signed Jahan Dotson, which I don't mind for them. And Kyle Pitts, they franchised him.
And I'm not trying to piggyback on anybody, but I feel like Kyler Murray would have been better in that situation.
Maybe, but I think here's the thing, though. I think they haven't given up on Penix, though. I think Penix is coming back.
It's not about giving up on Penix. I feel like you want to get the best out of the team as far as
but
you get. But I feel like and a player like Kyler Murray, side, has abilities that not many other quarterbacks possess. And I think in that particular type of offense where you have players who can get open and make plays, like if Kyle Pitts had somebody who can get free and throw him the ball each and every time, then he would. But the problem is last year he had 2 fucking turnstiles at quarterback. Not because Michael Penix wanted to be, but his legs were so fucked up that he couldn't fucking move. And then you had Kirk Cousins who would not move. Like he would snap the ball and whatever spot he was in, it was either hit or miss because I'm not moving. And so at the end of the day, I think that, you kind of have to look at this like, all right, we need to get somebody more mobile. I'm not saying Atlanta needs a Michael Vick, but they need somebody who can move.
Tua can move. I just think for the amount of money, it's not
move. He would have more brain cells than what he
had. Hey now, I don't like to talk about that like that because CTE is a tough thing. It's tough for him.
But you want to say, all right, he can move. Can he?
Listen, I just don't think. I think Minnesota was always going to go after Kyler Murray strong because I think they're going to be in a position where they'd like to. I think they think he can take them to the playoffs. I don't know if Atlanta thinks that Tua could take them to the playoffs,
I'm sure they don't. I'm not necessarily saying that they're banking on that, but I'm not saying that they're banking on Tua to actually.
Who cares? It's the Falcons.
Plays, we'll see what happens, but I feel like this is more of in my mind, a Kyle Pitts killer because, Tua is really good about finding tight ends, and Michael Pitts is not necessarily not.
Kyle.
Michael Pitts was Michael Pitts. Anyway.
I thought you said Michael Pitts, but you said Michael Penix. I haven't seen enough about Penix, right? Like,
That's just the thing. He doesn't stay on the field long enough for me.
But forget the Falcons. Let's talk to the real winners in free agency this week. We talked about the other teams. But the real winners, but we're gonna talk about the next Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
He said it, not me. I'm not with that shit. Look, I'm not going.
I'm kidding. But listen. I think we're definitely a contender again. I think that we could definitely say that. I don't know if we'll win the Super Bowl. It's hard to win Super Bowls. I think people are realizing. My friend's a Seahawks fan. And he was like, they lost a bunch of their defensive pieces. I said, that's why it's amazing that teams repeat because, the turnover rate is huge. And you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, we lost our entire secondary, pretty much. Our entire secondary's gone. We lost. I mean, I tell you what, Dave Merritt has to get some credit, man. I hope he gets some sort of cash or a watch from all these DBs. He's getting money. That got money after playing for him for a while. I hope they take care of Dave Merritt. But we lost a lot of our secondary, a lot of the 2002 draft, a lot of guys who are just really good and in demand couldn't sign. But who we did sign, though, was Kenneth Walker, which I had hoped we'd sign. I love Kenneth Walker. I liked him coming out of Michigan State. I liked him at Michigan State. I liked him with the Seahawks. Some people thought the Seahawks would re-sign him, but I guess they have some cap crunches too. So we got Kenneth Walker 3 years up to $45 million. I know there was Pete Prisco didn't like it because he said he's just a guy. I'm like, the dude had 1,300 yards from scrimmage. You add that to our offense last year, we win a lot more games. We had one of the worst rushing attacks in the world, and guess what? Here's the thing. You got to pay money. If you got to attack a need, you're going to have to pay money for it. We paid money for Kenneth Walker. And my friend, who's a Bronco fan, when he saw that red border and that yellow lettering come across with Kenneth Walker's picture on it, I don't think he had a very good day. But, George, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs signing the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker?
So we've had conversations in the previous shows about what is going to happen with the Chiefs as far as who they sign, who they could potentially grab in the draft. There's been the love talks. There's been, even I said Travis Etienne, because I just felt like the money wasn't there. I just felt like he was going to ask for a number that wasn't going to be beneficial to what we were going to be trying to do. And I know how the Chiefs like to do things. They're not going to lowball you, but they're going to give you a reasonable amount to come in and play football for a really great team and kind of do something that nobody else has ever done. So at this particular point, us having, Kenneth Walker on the team, I got a Kenneth Walker jersey, fund if y'all want to send it, right here. It's the Kenneth Walker Fund jersey. So y'all can go ahead and start sending stuff over to the Cash App, because I'm getting that K9. I'm getting that. That is coming home with me because I'm excited, bro. Like, Kenneth Walker is not a traditional back. He's almost like a little bit like every back we've had since Patrick Mahomes. Now, hear me out. He's a little bit of Kareem Hunt to where he can take it downfield. He's a little bit of Le'Veon Bell with the patience. That's one of the things that really kind of gets it. But the thing is, I feel like he has a lot of burst. So it kind of gives us a lot of things.
Kind of like Damian Williams.
Like Damian Williams is kind of burst. And he's tough.
And he's good out of the – and he can catch out of the backfield too.
Really, his hands are good. I've seen him take some things to the house. But like some games, it's just like I feel like he's such an all-around back that he's what you need in whatever game you need it in. If you need a back that's going to be able to catch, if you need a back that's going to be able to run, if you need a back that's going to be able to block, he can do all things well enough to go ahead and be able to kind of move the ball down the field and actually produce. Like, I just enjoyed the thought of actually having a running back that we can actually say that, all right, this is somebody we can hang their hats on. Not saying we couldn't do that with Pacheco or Kareem Hunt last year, but of course, you have Kareem Hunt on the last few years of his career. And then, of course, like I say, Pacheco coming off an injury, and he didn't look like himself at one point. So it's just kind of like, you have to move on. And it's like the tough business decisions. You have to see people go. And then, of course, like I say, us getting Kenneth Walker is not necessarily something I thought was going to be able to be, happen. We still had to sign this man. We still had to see if that was going to be a thing. And I think that was going to be one of the things that we talked about a lot was, all right, do we sit here and see how it all kind of plays out in the draft, or do we not sign free agents? I knew we were going to sign somebody, but we took some time to kind of, I think the free agents we did sign, from Tonga to Tyquan Thornton to, Kenneth Walker. It's just kind of like new pieces that fit in the right spots. And it's a growing system that's going to be good. So
it's going to be great. Now, like you said, Chris Tonga, I think his name. I'm sorry if but he's Tongan, and I love Tongan and Samoan people. I love the Polynesian folk. They're just tough, tougher than hell. He's a run stuffer. He's a nose tackle. He can stuff it. He's also a fullback, which is maybe he's the new third and short option. Really? But he's big and he's physical, and we really need that. So I like him. And then Alohi Gilman, the safety, who's got like 6 forced fumbles or something like that he's got more of a ball hawk, and we need to turn the ball over more. That's one thing our defense didn't do. Our defense was pretty good, but we didn't turn the ball over more. So 2 good signings there, as well as Kenneth Walker, George, for the Chiefs. I think, when you look at some of the teams that won championships, the Packers could never do it again. The Saints could never do it again. The Rams are trying, but they haven't done it. The Eagles won in 2017, a little bit later. They've been pretty consistent in terms of but it's hard to win championships, and it's hard to to maintain that success. So luckily enough, the Chiefs have Brett Veach, who's really has a knack for making good moves. And also, like you said, Tyquan Thornton is back, which is great. I'm happy with that. And obviously the man, the greatest tight end that's ever lived, is back with the Chiefs. First of all, here I'm going to go on a rant, George, before I get back to you. To anybody that thought he was going to play anywhere else, there is a better chance I'd play for another NFL team than Travis Kelce would. That was never going to happen. He was always going to, if he was going to play, he's going to play for Kansas City. And it's not like he wasn't effective. He had like 850 yards, so I like all the signing. I'm not, I think they really out and attack some needs and prepare themselves for the draft.
I like the fact that Travis Kelce didn't let it linger. I think it was the simple fact that we know exactly where we're going to be going into the draft. Now it kind of opens up other things like the draft prediction before this week, I feel, has changed significantly with some of the signings. So it's not necessarily saying that they're all going to be wrong. I just don't think some teams take who they thought they were going to take before they actually got the opportunity to sign certain players. Because let's face it, the Raiders, we know they're going to sign. I mean, they're going to draft Mendoza. The Titans, I feel like that the Titans, the Saints, all could draft Jordan Love.
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love. Jordan
He might get it up in the Titans too. That might be a good spot for him.
The Titans might grab him. And the Titans are known for getting good running backs and developing them and using them over the years. But that might be the thing. They might be a defensive team that has a good running back, maybe one or two good receivers, but a quarterback who's really, very accurate and can get the ball out. Like maybe that's who they become. I don't know. But there's a lot of people who actually, got signed this week and a lot of players that are going to teams and the draft is going to be hot. So late March can't get here fast enough.
The draft's in April. So the draft is in April.
I'm saying late March can't get here fast enough so I can say we're a month away. That's it. That's how I look at football. I gotta minimize the time because if I don't, then I'm looking at 2 months, and I don't like stretching it in my mind more than what it has to be. So,
George, I'm going to move on. This past weekend, UFC 326 happened. My boy Max Halliday was not successful. Credit to Charles Oliveira, who's a stud, who took him down and out-grappled him. To Max's credit, he did not get submitted, which is amazing because Charles Oliveira is the best submission artist in the game. And Max got his black belt because he didn't get submitted. But credit to Charles. He's a tough guy. He brought him, he's a guy who came up the hard way too. And he was class in victory. Max, of course, is always class in defeat. Mm-hmm. So credit to him. But there were a couple knockouts. RoboCop knocked the dude dead. Mm-hmm. Just knocked him senseless.
I've seen that.
Yeah, that's what he does, man. He does that. He's wild. So credit to him. Drew Dober had a great knockout. He knocked out Michael Johnson. Some good knockout. A weird one. So Cody Garbrandt is a former champion. He fought a guy named Zhao Long. He's a Chinese fighter. The dude kicked him in the balls 2 straight times. One was like full toes right to the nuts. And he had to throw up in the octagon. They got him a bucket. And he threw up in the octagon. So it was crazy. It was like, and he ended up winning the fight because the guy had 2 points taken away. So really wild, really good, some good fights. The UFC also announced the White House card, which I can't believe I'm saying. It's really weird.
The White House card.
No, it's just weird that there's a White House they're going to have a fight at the White House. It's just strange. But here's the card, and I'll go over it. Like as you know, I'm a huge UFC fan, so it's got Diego Lopez against Steve Garcia. Diego Lopez just fought for the featherweight title, and Steve Garcia is a stud. He's on like a massive winning streak. That should be a banger of a fight because both guys go into the fire. Bo Nickel, who's a former national champion wrestler at Penn State, is fighting one of the Dawkins brothers. I'm not sure if it's Chris or if it's, but Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins. My apologies, Kyle Dawkins. A good fighter, But Bo Nickel's on his way up at 185. He's still got some ways to go. He's a young fighter, but a lot's expected of him because when you're that national champion in MMA, like Brock Lesnar was, you're a guy that's big things are expected. Mauricio Hufi, one of the fighting nerds out of Brazil, another knockout artist, going against Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's a veteran. He's fought everybody, done everything. Little Canada versus America action in this fight. Sugar Sean O'Malley, who's a superstar, is fighting Ayman Zahabi. And Ayman Zahabi is the brother of Faraz Zahabi, who is the trainer of George St. Pierre, the greatest fighter that's ever lived.
Debatable.
Yeah, I know. Of course, people say John Jones, but whatever. Yeah. Heavy Alex Pereira, Poatan, the former light heavyweight champion, the former middleweight champion, going to be a 3-division champion against Cyril Gahn for the interim UFC heavyweight title. Cyril Gahn's had like 5 title shots. He just fought Tom Aspinall, poked him in the eye, and they had a no contest. So that's interesting. And the main event is, representing the United States is Justin Gaethje, the interim champion at lightweight 155 against Ilia Topuria, who knocks everybody dead. I don't know what he's got. He's got like the old. It was the dude who. Was it Margarito? Who had the bricks in his hands? I don't know if it was. Yeah, I'm trying to. I think it was Margarito, but Antonio Margarito inserts his hands before fighting Shane Mosley. He had like rock. They put like cement in his hands. That's what this dude has in his hands. He knocked Max Holloway out. Nobody ever knocked Max out at all, and he did. Although Max went down to 145 for 155, so that may have played a role. But you know, Max out. Charles Oliveira knocked him out. He's knocked everybody out, and Alex Volkanovski. So I heard Ronda Rousey, of course, she's got a big fight coming up, saying the White House card sucks. It sucks. He knows it sucks. I'm like, what are you talking about? I know she has to run down the UFC because that's her gimmick, but like, listen, you're on a card that's got, 2 people who haven't fought in combined 30 years. This has 2 of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Topuria and Pereira on the same card. Sean O'Malley's a superstar. I think everybody wanted to have like these unbelievable, like somebody said,
fights. Like they want,
like Brock Lesnar against Fedor or something. And I'm like, that wasn't going to happen. But like, because they're not. I guess allegedly they're not getting paid for this fight. But I mean, I don't know, George. I watch every UFC fight, and I am pumped for this. Like, there's some good matchups here. I think people always shit on UFC cards where they're like, oh, this is gonna suck. I'm like, watch the bloody thing and then tell me if it stinks. Like, I never judge a card until it it happened. I don't believe, as Bernie Mac said, I don't believe shit till shit happens. But
exactly.
But we got another UFC fight this weekend too, George. Like they always happen. Kevin Vallejos against Josh Emmett. Again, another guy who can knock dudes senseless. He's got some bad knockouts. There was a guy, Bryce Mitchell, and Bryce Mitchell's a UFC fighter, and he went on some rant, anti-Semitic rant. He ended up getting submitted afterwards by a guy, but before that, he hit this guy with a right. It was one of the worst knockouts. So UFC's world, man, I love it. I love watching the fights. I was disappointed, but I love watching the fights. It's one of the best sports to watch. And of course, I mean, George, we got baseball. Baseball's going to start soon.
Yes, it is.
And the World Baseball Classic, Canada advanced. We're playing the U.S. We were hoping Mexico would win, and Mexico had won it with 4 runs or less. But yeah, because we're playing the U.S., so it would be interesting.
I think I'm ready for baseball season for the first time in my life.
Oh, I'm so ready for baseball season. Are you kidding me?
I don't participate very often in baseball games. I go to a lot of baseball. I go to more baseball games than y'all know or would think. But it's just a simple fact that I'm not a fan of a particular team. And of course, like I say, I might just do the hometown kid thing and try to go ahead and say the Rangers are going to try to win it all next year. But We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. They have a nice new stadium, great hot dogs, great beers. So let's see what they talk about.
But you know who I'm cheering for?
Good old Leafs.
No, the Blue Jays, baby. The Blue Jays. Oh, not the Leafs. Nobody's cheering for the Leafs right now. Holy shit, George.
I throw that one in there. I know it's Jays. But I was like, the Leafs. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I'm sorry.
I'll always cheer for the Leafs. But, George, I think we're going to get to, here it is, the top 5, our top 5 favorite free agent signings.
I mean, there was a lot of them over the weekend, and I think there's a lot of people that you can kind of say who made an impact for a specific team that people weren't really thinking about, making that much of an impact. Who do you have as far as one of the biggest impacts so far?
I got a list here, so I guess I'll kick it off, George. My first on the list is Malik Willis to the Dolphins.
Okay.
I think the Dolphins have struggled with their quarterback position. They thought Tua was the guy, and it didn't turn out to be the guy. I thought Malik Willis. I think he's a good player. I think he's got some ability. He can run. They got Jalen Waddle there. Mm-hmm. I really liked Malik Willis. I think for a team, I have a friend again who's a Dolphins fan, and it's been tough for them. It's been tough, but I think they went defense with their coach. And because it's a former Packer coach and GM group, but so they know Malik Willis, and I think I'm glad he's getting a shot. And it's 3 years, $67 million. It's not crazy for a quarterback. I think it's good value, and I'm excited to see how he does. So my first pick's Malik Willis.
I like Malik Willis. I think he's definitely one of those players that you have to watch his growth, understand exactly what his career has been to kind of make it where he is right now. There's a lot of players who, people write off a lot of times, and I feel like this is an opportunity for Malik Willis to actually be really, really good. So, I'll definitely take the Malik Willis pick. Now, of course, throughout this particular offseason, I feel like there's moves that kind of make sense, and then there's kind of moves that make you better. And I got to just, come out and say it, man. The Raiders and Tyler Linderbaum, that was magic. I'm saying, if you needed an offensive lineman to go ahead and start to hang your hat on as far as what you have a running back that you're going to start using. You're going to draft a quarterback who you need to go ahead and protect. So let's not have everything come up front because Mendoza's not used to that. So get Linderbaum in there to go ahead and start the brigade as far as let's start getting some cohesiveness with this offensive line and make it a little bit better. So Tyler Linderbaum is going to really help out the Raiders a lot.
That's definitely a good pick. And I tell you what, he got some good money, and that makes Creed's deal look like a steal.
A steal.
I mean, because dime a dozen. Next up, I like this one, especially got a young quarterback who I think is good, Isaiah Likely to the Giants, for two reasons. One, maybe we don't have to play him as much because he killed us every time he was with Baltimore. He killed us. But I like the pick. I mean, again, depending on what the Giants do, like you said, they could go receiver, they could go running back, but I think barring health, with Jackson Dart, and they got a pretty good O-line too. They got Andrew Thomas. I like this move. I think he really gives them another option as a pass catcher, alongside Malik Neighbors. So I'm a big fan of it. I like Likely to the Giants.
I think Likely to the Giants was almost you're coming with a hardball kind of move. I think a pick that I can say that it's not necessarily saying it's like a needed pick in the sense of this team need to get better in this area, but them getting better in this area is just kind of on brand for what's been happening down there in Houston. Reed Blankenship going to Houston is a lot more important than a lot of people actually know, because now they got a safety who can cover a little bit, so they're not going to get beat over the top a lot, but they have somebody who's a hard-hitting safety who's going to be, at least somebody who they can kind of hang their hats on for the next 3 years. 3 years, $24 million. Not a lot of money, but a lot of money in my case. Because guess what? If you gave me $24 million, you might not ever see me again. But hey, so Reed Blankenship down there in Houston is definitely going to make some things shake up as far as their safety room. So that's a good move.
I still think they need a receiver.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
they haven't had very much luck in the receiver position as far as health. I think because at one point in time, you got Nico Collins, and Tank Dell, and then Mechie gets hurt, and then of course
Dell's been hurt.
Dell's not been back since you've seen that gruesome injury, and then Nico Collins is in and out the lineup a lot. So of course they have some receivers there that aren't really big names, but they've kind of made some plays as well. But I think that the Houston Texans definitely have the opportunity to kind of make some things kind of shake out. And I think that's going to be something that they can kind of do with the talent that they've already signed. They go into the draft and they can look at receivers. They can look at other positions as well. So, the Houston Texans have a lot of areas of opportunity, but most of them are on offense. And so we'll see how it goes.
So, George, we need one more here. We need one more. I'm throwing it on there. I liked the Rico Dowdle pick to the Steelers. I really did. I think he was the guy that if the Chiefs had signed him, I would have been happy. I think he's a really good back. I can do a lot of things. I mean, they've added the Steelers. I mean, again, they had DK Metcalf. They added Michael Pittman. I mean, they really did some good things, but I think that Dowdle pick gives him some stability at the running back position. And we know that they like to run the football. So I would recommend Rico Dowdle unless you have another one.
I have a hard time, not really, because I'm a fair critic of moves that are made, and no matter what team they go to, whether I like the team or not. But I just feel like this year the Raiders did a lot of homework on a lot of people, and them being able to sign also Quay Walker kind of did some things for their defense a little bit as far as giving them a little bit more presence. The Raiders over the last few years haven't been, in my mind, scary.
They've been terrible. They've been terrible.
Defensively.
I mean, they have Max Crosby, but I mean, they got Kwity Paye, they got Quay Walker, they got Nakobe Dean, they got Jalen Naylor. They did some good things. But that's all the credit we're going to give the Raiders on this show.
That's probably the most important, though. That's what I'm saying. And Quay Walker.
So you would put Quay Walker over Rico Dowdle?
Yeah. Because I don't want. It's not necessarily. I'm not saying Rico Dowdle is not a good pickup, but I feel like he won't impact his team as much as Quay Walker will impact the Raiders. They need Quay Walker more than the Steelers need Rico Dowdle.
Well, I'm going to find somebody else because I can't very well have two Raiders picks on.
Hey, say what you want. Them boys did some homework this year, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you got to call a spade a spade. Like, they did a lot of work. Like, hats off. Now,
here's one that I'm gonna throw one. I'm gonna throw one out here, and you're gonna say, "Well, you don't need it as much," because the Raiders need everything. That can't be the baseline. It can't be like, well, they need anything. They need anything.
Hold on. Just because they needed them, don't mean that they actually signed a good player. How many times did the Raiders actually sign the players in spots for large amounts of money that were terrible, but they just signed them because they needed a player? This year, you have to agree that the Raiders, as much
they did some good things.
They did a lot of good things, and I'm gonna bang on the table for Quay Walker and Tyler Linderbaum because the Raiders.
I agree with you on Linderbaum. Like Linderbaum
making those moves, bro. Like, they're not making those moves any other year. Name another linebacker that you need. I mean, I put it to you like this: name another player that you would need to pair with a defensive lineman to go ahead and be able to kind of rush the passer. Quay Walker
No,
is one of the best pass rushing linebackers in the NFL for the Packers for the last few years. The reason why I say that's important for the Raiders is because not only having Max Crosby would actually make their defense a lot better if they can rush the passer a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw one out here because I think he's a great fit for this team. And maybe we can get is Alex Anzalone to the Bucks.
To the Bucks?
Yeah, like they're going to use him well. Todd Bowles is going to use him well. And I think they're a team that fits. Listen, I'll take Mike Evans to the Niners. Anything to get the Raider out of there.
Look, you can use your hate, but it's only gonna work for so much. There's not a better signing. There's not two better signings.
Oh, I think there is. I think the Titans had a good year. I think
look,
John
Franklin Myers, is he better than Quay Walker?
I don't know if he's better, but he might be better for them.
Yeah, he won't be better than.
So Quay Walker is the best player that Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. Like Quay Walker is great, but he's not the best player.
But we're not talking about players.
I mean, really, like if we're gonna be 100 about this, I think Kenneth Walker is a better signing. I think when you look at what he can do for the Chiefs' offense, Quay Walker can do some good things, but I think Kenneth Walker.
But that wasn't presented.
So it's presented now.
Do you go pull your A side of the hole? Oh, I'm pulling Chiefs player. Nah, but the thing is, I feel like, and I'm gonna stand on this, that Quay Walker will make the defense for the Raiders just a little bit better. I'm not saying he takes them to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that he makes them the say all end all in the AFC West. But as far as what the Raiders have been and what the Raiders have had, they've only had Max Crosby. And of course, consistently, they've had other players who've been good.
They had Mac
years ago.
Khalil Mack.
Years ago. And at the end of the day,
I remember those years. Strong.
Him and Max Crosby never played together. So that really doesn't mean anything. Max Crosby needs him a pair. He needs a pair. He needs somebody to pair with, whether it be a defensive tackle that's really good or a linebacker that's really good or something. First of all, he needs a fucking team that wants him. All right? Let's talk about the real thing. You know what? I mean, the Raiders trying to trade you, and the Baltimore Ravens is like, his knee is ground beef. his knee looks like
I don't know if it is, though.
So I'm just saying, like, it's just not necessarily a bad thing that he's not on the team right now. I just feel like he will have another opportunity to be a little bit better with some of the picks. So,
also a move I like, and we can add Quay Walker. He's number 5, but we can add him.
Oh, the 5 is definitely questionable. By the way, it's definitely questionable because I think Zaire Franklin to the Packers is another good pickup. Because the Packers
that was a trade, though. Technically, that was a trade.
That's an off-season acquisition, man.
But I'll take it. I'll take it over the Raiders. I'll take it over Quay Walker.
You can take Zaire. We'll take Zaire because I think Zaire does a lot for the Packers too.
Another one I was looking at too. There's a couple. Jalen Phillips to the Panthers. The Panthers were kind of good last year, and
they made the playoffs.
They were in it. They were in that game. They needed some help on unfortunately, but I think they needed. I like Jalen Phillips to them. I really do.
Yeah, Jalen Phillips. The Panthers did a lot of work in the offseason too. I mean, Carolina is not a bad team to kind of look at as far as what they did as far as production. I mean, they went and got Mechie, David Moore. They went and got
Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd too. Now Devin Lloyd, in my mind, I feel like that is a lot of money for an older player off some injuries. But hey, you pay a lot less for a lot more sometimes. And then
but if he hits, if he plays like he can play.
Now the one re-signing that they did that was really good, Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons is one of those people that I feel like is slept on a lot because, of course, his draft stock was extremely high. And sometimes when you have those players with the high draft stock, they seem to kind of go into these modes of they're not living up to their height and you don't want to pay him too much. He's still a freakishly large linebacker who's freakishly fast. So if y'all want to take with that what you must, I think that's how I look at Josh Simmons. I mean Isaiah Simmons.
The Bears did good things too. They Kobe Bryant, Devin Bush, Neville Gallimore, Canadian, Khalif Raymond, Jedrick Wills. Taking a flyer on Jedrick Wills back in the NFL.
Jedrick Wills is going to be a good offensive lineman if he's completely healthy.
I mean, we can go through a couple of these because I think we've got our top 5. But I mean, a couple picks. Kendrick Bourne to the Cardinals. They're going to stick with Jacoby Brissett, I heard, and I like that. I think he gives them experience. I think he gives them. They're in a tough division anyway, so that's a pain. But I mean, like, they got some good players. I mean, the Falcons we talked about, they signed some guys. I mean, we'll see where that ends up. I mean,
the Super Bowl champs have a lot of work to do. I feel like they lost a lot of pieces on defense.
They did, yeah.
That's big for them because, of course, not necessarily going back to the Super Bowl is the goal right now. Obviously,
retained a lot of guys though too, like Josh Jobe, Rashid Shaheed. I mean, Bobo re-signed, Drake Thomas re-signed.
Mm-hmm.
They retained a lot of guys, but I mean, again, like it's why it's hard to win championships. So George. Here's the 5 we got. We'll get to the 5. Malik Willis, Tyler Lindenbaum, Isaiah Likely, Reed Blankenship, and Zaire Franklin. Is there anyone else you want to choose out? You like that list?
Nah, we're going to take it because, of course, the only other pick that will probably be on there is Kenneth Walker. So we can kind of move forward what we got.
So who would be the best? Who's the best pick, you think? Who's the number 1?
Lindenbaum to the Raiders.
Lindenbaum to the Raiders? Okay.
Lindenbaum to the Raiders because, of course, like I say, they needed offensive line help so bad last year that it looked like they had 5 me's out there. And I'm going to tell you guys, I ain't in the shape. I'm not in it. So I think that is one of the more bigger splashes because, of course, of the need as well as how much money they paid them. That's some record-setting money.
Listen. You got a franchise QB. You got to protect him.
Yeah, you
got to protect him.
So they paid that man well. So I'll take that. Who you got at 2? Like, who do you think is enough to kind of is a lock there?
I don't know about a lock, but I would say Malik Willis. I think I'm really high on that pick. I think that's a good pick for the Dolphins.
I will not argue with that because having a mobile quarterback. And having somebody who can throw the ball downfield, be a little bit accurate, kind of get out of the way a little bit. I don't know exactly what the offensive line looks like for Miami next year. That hopefully is something that they take some serious time to invest in. But Malik Willis to the Dolphins.
Maybe in the draft.
Yeah. I can definitely see them drafting some players.
Zaire Franklin, I would put 3. Just because I think he means a lot to that Packers team. I think he'll do a lot of good.
His tackles, his amount of tackles, because I think the bad thing about the Packers was they didn't tackle enough. They didn't have nobody who was, in the linebacker position that was tackling enough. I mean, yeah, they had Rashawn Gary, but they were playing them weirdly. And I don't think you can play Zaire Franklin like you were playing them. He's a little bit more versatile as far as being able to come into coverage and out of coverage as well. So I'm not real big on him doing other things other than tackling and playing coverage sometimes, but he's going to fit their scheme a little bit better than those guys. So.
Well, and they have a new defensive coordinator. They hired Jonathan Gannon as their DC, and he's a good DC. And they got Hargrave, and they got Franklin, and they got St. Juice, the corner. Sky Moore went there. But they got some guy. Yeah. I mean, they got some guys. I mean, good for Sky. I mean, the people here treat him like the worm, man. But guess what? He's got some, I mean, he's making NFL money again. So good for him. Darian Kennard, another former Chief, got signed.
Got signed.
Good. The Packers are an interesting team. I think they got good receivers, good running back. I think they need some help on the offensive line. And they got good pieces on defense. Because I guess that North is a tough division again. I mean, if Kyler Murray can go to the Vikings, say, and they can start moving on, I think that is good. That's that's a toss-up, man. Like, I mean, in that division,
You
because
think Kyler Murray goes to the Vikings?
that's the rumor. Is that they're the most interested in him?
Do you think it'd be him or Kirk Cousins?
No, it won't be Kirk Cousins.
You sure?
Yeah, I won't be.
Because Kirk Cousins
I think
is one of those names that kind of float around everybody's.
Yeah, I think it'll be Kyler Murray, and I think, but I mean, and then who knows? I don't know what happens from McCarthy, but I think Minnesota is kind of like, we got Justin Jefferson. We need to try and win now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at Minnesota again, like they're one of those teams. They signed James Pierre and re-signed a lot of their guys. Aaron Jones is there.
The Aaron Jones thing for me is not a bad thing. It's just, for me, it's like y'all don't want to see him to move on and kind of replace him. And I'm not saying he's a bad pickup. It's just that I feel like you've had a lot of years tied to him. Financially is a good thing to do. But I'm not saying that you're not getting better at the running back position. You're exactly the same as you were last year.
No, I mean, we'll see. But so George, that makes Reed. I would put Zaire Franklin. We're back to him
at 3,
and
Reed Blankenship at 4.
I'd put Likely.
I would put Likely at 4. I could put Reed Blankenship at 5 because the Texans defense is great. I don't necessarily see them being too reliant on Reed Blankenship, but I do think that him being in that spot sews it up to a point to where that pass rush is going to get to everybody a lot quicker.
Yeah, I mean, another one I liked that we didn't talk about was Travis Etienne to the New Orleans Saints.
I think that I would like to see that more than I think that'd be a great
pick. I think he went there because I think it's going to be a great pick. I think he's a great player.
I don't see him being a great player, but I don't think the Saints have the offensive line to support him.
Yeah, but I mean, they're a team that's been in cap hell for a long time. They got a quarterback that they think is going to be something. I mean, they got.
Show's not bad.
I think they see, they're kind of rebuilding. They got Chris Olave. They got some good pieces, but
the trade rumors about Chris Olave have been disgusting. They've wanted to been like, people on the internet want to trade Chris Olave so bad, and then every week Chris Olave does something that means that he's not getting traded. But it's just funny how people just kind of look at him and say, "Oh, he's not good," but he's a very good receiver. Like,
very good.
And his credit.
Yeah. So, but that's the list, George. Lindenbaum at 1, Willis at 2, Franklin, Isaiah Likely, and Reed Blankenship. That's our top 5 favorite free agent signings of this year.
Thus far.
Yeah. So
there may be some things that happen.
Yeah. We say free agency signings or off-season moves so far that we've had in the last few days. So George, good talk tonight. We're moving on, and man, the Chiefs are rolling. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good news this year.
I'm ready to go ahead and see everything kind of come out. I'm ready for training camp. I'm ready for the draft. We got technically 7 weeks until the draft. So
and next week George, you're going to join me. I'm filling out my bracket. I'm one of those casuals who knows nothing about college basketball. I don't watch it. I'm not saying it's bad. I just only have.
Putting together a bracket. See, I'm a gambler, guys, so I know the numbers when they start to get to a point to where they're too high and insurmountable. I get less interested because I know I'm not going to win. But brackets for me are just kind of like, they're just too risky.
I'm doing it because my buddy uses a pool, so maybe I'll throw $20 in or whatever it is, 10, whatever he does. But I love the NCAA tournament just because it's so unpredictable. Like, Southeastern Oregon State could beat like Duke, and I hope so because I don't like Duke at all. So I won't. I'm not a fan. But I don't even know who's in it. I know the selection is Sunday, so the brackets will come out. So next week, I'm filling out my bracket, baby, and But
Well,
George, that's it.
How you fill out your bracket, because I'm curious to see what actually comes out, because college basketball is always a very interesting sport, because you never know what the powerhouse teams do and what the powerhouse teams can't do in crunch time. So I'm interested to see. So let's see it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's next week. Everyone, thank you for joining us, and you have a good night.
Peace.